The J37 plugin has two panels of controls. The top panel is mostly adjustments that correspond to actual adjustments the tape operator would make when setting up to record on the real thing. The lower panel features a combination of settings. There are controls for tweaking the specifics of the emulation. There are the VU meters, which give you an indication of how hard you're pushing the virtual tape. On the rightmost side of both the top and bottom panels are controls for using the tape recorder to create a delay or echo effect, a common application back in the days before these effects were available as pedals or outboard gear. The very top panel is a nice visual simulation of the mechanicals of the tape machine. It doesn't affect the sound in any way, but it looks really cool. On the top panel's left side are 5 buttons. The first 3 let you choose from Wave's emulations of the response of 3 different tape formulations that were in use during the time of the J37. Tape formulation has a major effect on the quality of the saturation effect you get when you push the tape, when you push levels into the red. The 888 formulation, the oldest, is the edgiest sounding. You can hear this especially in the upper mids as you push the level. The 811 is a little cleaner, but still shares some of this edge. Well, the 815 is the cleanest formulation. It's also the default setting when you open a new instance of the plugin. The differences are subtle, but they definitely can affect how a track sits in the mix. The next 2 red buttons choose the simulated tape speed. In that era, professional tape recorders ran at either 7.5 IPS, inches per second, or 15 IPS. More modern machines also ran at 30 IPS, but the J37 was before that time. Tape speed primarily affects frequency response. The slower speeds would have less highs, but a fuller sounding bass. The faster speed would have a more extended high end, but the lows would be just a little less full. 15 IPS would be the standard for the highest quality, especially with tracks like vocals, cymbals, acoustic guitars. But 7.5 IPS can have a nice fat sound on instruments like individual drums and bass, where a crystal clear high end is less critical. The next section, in the middle, is the main control for the saturation effect. The in control adjusts the signal level being recorded on the virtual tape. Increasing this will result in more of the tape saturation effect. That's the bread and butter of this plugin. Naturally, as you crank the level, the signal gets louder, but what you're really looking for is the effect, not an actual level increase. So the out control compensates, letting you reduce the level so the result is a more saturated signal, but still outputs at unity gain. Waves makes this simpler by linking the two. So as you increase in, out is automatically decreased by the same amount. You can unlink them if you ever feel you need to, but linked operation is the most efficient and logical way to work. If you do unlink them and make an adjustment to one or the other, and then relink them, moving the in control will preserve whatever offset you created. Next up, the bias controls and the controls on the bottom panel.